Good evening. The October 23, 2024 council meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Dr. Vogt? Here. Mrs. Wittes? Here. Mr. Vieira?
I'm here. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Before I read the mission statement, I'd like to stand up and have a moment of silence for Mary Jane Sally, Dr. Mary Jane Sally, Councilwoman. Thank you. I will now read the mission statement of the City Council of Long Branch. Mayor, City Council, and Administration are committed to cultivating an environment of mutual trust and respect that values the diversity of our community. We will strive to enhance the quality of life for all who live here by making Long Branch a desirable place in which to live and prosper. We will treat all members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. Certification, please.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you.
Council President, if I can, just at the top of the meeting, as you know, we now have a vacancy as a result of the passing of Councilwoman Selly. So there's a statutory process on how we fill it. Part of it is part of it is copied into our municipal code. But so we understand what the process is. Because the vacancy occurred less than 60 days before the general election, the time for the election to replace and fill the vacancy will be a year from this November, so it's November of 2025. In the interim, council has 30 days from the date of the vacancy to fill that vacancy for the interim period. So whoever council appoints to fill the vacancy now will serve from whenever they're appointed until the date that the election 2025 is certified. That's kind of the process that's required by law. And I'll just make a note that we have on our agenda that we're rescheduling the November 13th meeting to November 6th. And the purpose of that is so that we have another meeting within the 30-day time period. Obviously, we don't have anything on the agenda tonight to fill the council vacancy, but it would be in order to consider that for the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Reyno.
You're welcome.
Reading and approval of previous minutes. I need a motion to approve the minutes of October 9th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Consideration of ordinance, public hearing, and final consideration. Ordinance 0-1924. An ordinance designating a handicap parking space at 315 Chelsea Avenue. This ordinance was introduced on October 9th, 2024, and designates a handicap parking space on the north side of Chelsea Avenue, in front of 315 Chelsea Avenue. I need a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make on this ordinance only, please come to the podium, state your name and address clearly for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once on ordinance 0-19-24. Seeing there is none, I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance 19-24. I need a motion to adopt in the second and the final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Mr. Viera.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Ordinance 020-24, a bond ordinance, providing the various 2024 capital acquisitions and improvements for the city of Long Branch in the county of Monmouth, state of New Jersey, appropriating $4,946,101, therefore including a state of New Jersey Department of Transportation grant in the amount of $1,130,101, and authorizing the issuance of $3,745,500 on bonds or notes of the city of the Finance Department and costs of therefore. This ordinance was introduced on October 9th, 2024, and provides for various capital acquisitions on improvements consisting of facades, assessment, and repairs to the city hall, preliminary engineering and architectural study for the municipal-owned property, various recreation upgrades and improvements at various parks throughout the city, and repairs and improvements to various roads and sidewalks throughout the city. The city will be appropriating $4,946,101, of which $1,130,101 will be reimbursed to the city from the New Jersey Department of Transportation state grant. I need a motion to open the public hearing on this ordinance only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If any member of the public has any comments to make on this ordinance only, please come to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once on ordinance 02024.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. Section 3 of this ordinance, B, preliminary engineering study and architectural study to municipally owned property, $850,000. Mr. Martin, what property?
The former Santander Bank building on Broadway.
Santander. Section 3, subsection C, various recreation upgrades and improvements at various parks located throughout the city. What parks?
Barry's.
Pardon?
Barry's.
Well, yeah. Which ones? No list. No specifics.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
No. You have 4 weeks to provide me a list. And I got a list today at 3 o'clock. Mr. Martin, why is the useful life of Section 3, subsection C, 15 years?
Because that's what bond council assessed the useful life of the improvements as.
More so than the roads at 10 years. Section 3, subsection D, repairs and improvements to various roads, sidewalks throughout the city, as more fully described on a list on file in the office of the city clerk. Appropriation of $3,446,101, including the DOT grant. Debt authorization, $2,336,000. After 4 weeks, I got a list today that you provided the clerk at 3 o'clock. Your response was 2nd Avenue, Westwood Avenue, and various other streets as funds are available. Could you please explain, Mr. Martin, the $2,336,000? Is that for 2nd Avenue and Westwood Avenue exclusively?
No.
Not exclusively, no.
No. Then what are the various other streets as funds are available?
Can you repeat that?
What are the various other streets as funds are available?
Funds are available. We have plans to Seaview Ave, Ivy Place, some drainage over there.
Why wasn't I provided that on the list today at 3 o'clock, which was supposed to be on file with the clerk's office for the past 4 weeks?
We're not certain we're going to have the funds for that after we go out to bid for 2nd Avenue,
But there's still potential streets that should have been on the list.
There's potential for lots of streets if we have the money for it.
Well, you specifically state various other streets as funds are available. And this list is supposed to be available in the clerk's office for the past 4 weeks. And I only get 2 streets as of 3 o'clock today. From persistence, repeated persistence for the past 2 weeks. All right, 7D, 1,325,000. Section 20 cost, professional fees. Again, rewarding the Paloma pay-to-play gravy train. I waited 4 weeks for a list to this ordinance. The list of streets, the list of parks was not available to the public for review. We're in the city clerk's office as described in this ordinance. I'm requesting a no vote.
Seeing there's no one else on this ordinance, I need a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is the second reading of ordinance 20-24. I need a motion to adopt on a second and a final reading and advertise according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Ordinance for introduction. Ordinance 0-2124. This is the first reading on ordinance 2124, entitled an ordinance authorizing the amendment of the deed and easement for 907 Ocean Avenue, Block 59, Lot 3, in the city of Long Branch. Summary. This ordinance amends an existing easement along 907 Ocean Avenue, Block 59, Lot 3, to delineate a 20-foot wide easement area across the property for the purpose of the construction, reconstruction, and maintaining steel core and stone jetty works as required and detailed by Long Branch Zoning Board Resolution 28-23-21. I need a motion to introduce on the first reading, advertise and post accordingly to law, and set the public hearing for November 13th, 2024.
Council President, if I may, just
Sure.
by way of explanation. So this is a companion to the resolution that is on the agenda, which is Resolution R-260-24. In 1938, the city entered into various easements with property owners. The sole purpose of the easement, they're essentially construction easements, so they would allow the city to go across these properties for the sole and exclusive purpose of constructing, reconstructing, and maintaining the steel core and stone jetty works that are obviously along the beach. So since that time, the city, while these easements have been in place, the property has not actually been utilized by the city for those purposes, but it encumbers the property. As a result of a zoning board application, the zoning board agreed to, and by the way, the easement across the property is undefined. It doesn't have a meets and bounds description, so it's difficult to tell from the deed which part of the property it would actually apply to. So in order to bring some certainty to this, the zoning board, during a zoning board application, agreed to a plan that specifically delineated the easement so it doesn't reduce any of the access that the city currently has. It just defines it as a 20-foot wide space along one side of the property. The map is attached to the deed of easement that is attached to Resolution R60, so you can see it. The reason why we have an ordinance and a settlement agreement is because the settlement agreement sets forth the terms. The ordinance is necessary where it's necessary for us to accept the easement by ordinance, so the ordinance effectively effectuates the settlement agreement. So if council has any questions, but as I said, the access that the city currently has is the access that the city will have. It doesn't diminish in any respect it just delineates what part of the property we would go over.
Thank you, Mr. Raynon. Do I have a,
I think you had a motion to
Can I have a
introduce
motion?
already?
So moved.
Second.
roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes.
Mr. Viera?
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. Public participation for resolutions and general comments. I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So move.
Second.
Opposed? If there's anyone in the audience that has a comment to make, please step to the podium and state your name and address clearly for the record. You'll have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Requesting 1 minute notification, Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch. At the October 9th council meeting, Resolution 241, City Council hereby excuses the absence of Councilwoman Mary Jane Selly from attendance at meetings of the City Council for the period of October 9, 2024, until such time that she returns to City Council meetings, end quote. And this council on October 9th approved the resolution excusing Selly's further absences. I brought up at that meeting NJSA 4816-3E, requesting council get a judicial determination on Selly's mental or physical capability of serving. Council wouldn't do it, despite the fact that during the week of October 6th, Selly lost cognition. Why, she didn't even recognize people around here from first-hand experiences. She didn't know who was in her presence. And yet this council went ahead and gave further excuses for her absence. Within 4 days of that resolution, Mary Jane Selly was dead. So where's tonight's resolution on Selly? Where is it excusing her from attending meetings for a period of tonight, October 23rd, until such time she returns from the dead? Where is it? You people made fools. This council made fools of the people of this city. You showed no respect. You exemplified the zenith of the betrayal of public trust for better than a year. Nobody has to question what junk government is anymore. You people exemplify it. Mr. Raynon, with your colloquy at the beginning concerning the election, at the November 6th meeting, is that meeting scheduled to be an executive section meeting upon which the council will determine interviewing candidates?
The answer is I don't think there's an agenda for that meeting now, but as of right now, that is going to be our regular meeting. So I don't think there's an agenda for it as of yet.
Why did you state the election would be a year from now,
Because
approximately in November instead of May when we have a municipal election?
we do not have a municipal election next May. The next municipal election is actually in 2026. So it would be the next general election, and the next general election is a year from November. So that's when it would be.
There wouldn't be a special municipal election?
Absolutely not. The statute doesn't call for that. It would only be at the next regular municipal election. And the next regular municipal election in Long Branch is in May of 2026.
So your appointment will last for 1 year? The council's appointment will last for 1 year?
Correct. It'll be from whenever it's made until the date that the election in November of 2025 is certified.
Oh, how
And then
convenient.
they take office immediately.
How convenient. Resolution 260, the settlement agreement concerning the easement, the modification of the easement. The plaintiff gives a $10,000 settlement payment for improving public access to the beachfront at designated locations provided by the city's public access plan. Mr. Raynon, how does one use that easement to get to the beach currently?
Nobody does, because that easement is for the city, only for construction purposes for the city. So it's not, right now, that easement is not a public access easement. That is it's a construction easement solely for the purpose of the city maintaining, constructing, or reconstructing the jetty. So
1 minute
That's
notification.
that's what the 1939 deed says. It is specifically limited. So the public has no right of access across that property right now.
The public has been using it for better than 40 years.
Well, that's, you know-
They have a right-of-way on that. I know I've used it as
Mr.
well.
Lepore, if
It's
you
an
cut it-
established right-of-way.
No, it's not,
For a
Mr. Lepore.
public access.
That's not how right-of-ways are established, Mr. Lepore. If you walk across my lawn every day for a week, you don't get to own my lawn. The answer is, that's not.
Municipal employees used it as an access to the beach for surfing and fishing. Don't tell me the
right.
territory I know, Mr. Raynone. It's been used as an access for better than 40 years.
It doesn't make
It's
it a-
established.
It doesn't make it no, it doesn't, Mr. Lepore.
Yes,
We
it
can-
does.
There is a constitution in this country.
Yes,
and
you
cannot
don't
take-
listen to it,
you've
and you
never
don't
read
know it.
Okay.
You don't understand,
No.
Mr. Lepore. You want to talk about.
What about the
5
illegal
minutes.
revetment wall, Mr. Raynone? The illegal revetment wall put over that easement
minutes.
Your time is up,
because of that.
sir.
Oh,
Time is up.
Mr. Blown talks
Your
now.
time is up, sir.
Because your failed former director of planning
Thank you.
and building allowed a revetment wall
Your
illegally
time is
over
up,
the easement.
sir.
Bye.
Junk government.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good evening. Nick DiGuglielmo, 580 Patton Avenue. Newly moved back into Long Branch. Continue to be outraged over the 21% increase in city taxes. I thank Mayor Pallone for having allowed me the access to sit with the tax assessor who did go over things. And much to my amazement, he pulled up the city and showed, just like anyone can access, and I'm sure the entire council knows, you see the valuations of each household and how much the taxes are assessed. And it's astounding because here I am, I moved a year ago and my taxes just went through the roof. So the 21% was over the whole year. The reason I mentioned at the last meeting that it was 42% because I was responsible for the entire year, which was not made available beforehand. But let's move forward. The thing that astounded me is you look at the city and you get, and forgive the saying, and I'm going to harp on it, a tale of two cities. The city that pays entire taxes, and with all due respect, Mr. Raynone, the rest of the Pier Village is completely whited out. There's no valuation on all those properties, nor is there any idea of what they're paying, whether it be taxes, minus the education, whatnot. It doesn't matter. If someone can look up and see what my house is valued and the taxes, why can't I wind up seeing that? Do I have to Oprah that to be able to see it? Why can't the rest of the community have access to that? If you go on Zillow, you can't wind up seeing that. And I understand, my good friend Mario, that everything in life has an increase in taxes. There's no question about it. But how in God's name are you going to retain the people that are paying the full taxes I say, in this town, as opposed to those that are paying partial? And all of you know for a fact that in the Pier Village, the education component is not being paid adequately and equitably across the board. So, we know that there's going to be a shortfall. It's not a secret. There'll be a huge shortfall education-wise. There's going to be changes with the fire department. How in God's name are you going to wind up taking care of taxes, lowering taxes, being able to account for those? I request two things. Number one, to make accessible the valuation of all those properties that are completely whited out with whatever proportions they're paying, number one. Number two, what does the council propose to do to try and cut costs, lower taxes, and incentivize working people to live and not move out of Long Branch. Because with this rate, I'm inclined to sell and move the hell out. And I don't think you want that, but perhaps the council can educate me otherwise. Let's have accountability, transparency. That's all I ask for. I think it's overdue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I need a motion to close the public participation portion of the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will now ask Madam Clerk if there are any changes to the list of resolutions.
Resolution R 262-24, resolution appointing Dr. Anita Vo as Council Vice President has been added to the agenda.
Thank you. We can take a list of resolutions as a consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yeah.
Mr. Viera?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Applications is none. Miscellaneous good of the order. I usually turn it over, but today I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to go first. We just passed resolution R 251-24, Extra Mile Day. I'm going to read that resolution for you. The city of Long Branch is a community which acknowledges that the special vibrancy exists within the entire community when the citizens collectively go to the extra mile in personal effort and volunteerism and service. Whereas the city of Long Branch community which encourage its citizens to maximize their personal contribution to the community by giving themselves heartwarming and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their individual ambitions, family, friends, and community. And whereas the city of Long Branch is community which chooses to shine a light on the celebrity, individually, organizations within the community who go the extra mile in order to make a difference and lift up the fellow members of their community. And whereas that the city of Long Branch acknowledges the mission of Extra Mile, an American to decrease 550 extra mile a day cities in American is proud to support the Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council and the City of Long Branch do hereby proclaim November 1st, 2024 to the Extra Mile Day and urge each individual in the community to take time this day to not only go the extra mile in his or her own life, but to also acknowledge all those who are inspirational on their efforts and commitment to make their organization, families, community, country, or world better place to live. Today, last week, we lost our vice president, our council, my mentor, my great friend, city and city council mayor would like to dedicate this resolution to Dr. Selly. She was a great person to be up here, and she was a great mentor for me. So with that, I'd like to, Councilman Dangler.
Thank you. Thank everyone for coming, and also my prayers and thoughts are going out to Michael Selly and the Selly family. Certainly losing the matriarch of the family, it's a tough time, and just know that I'll be praying for the family. Thank you. Good night.
Councilwoman Vogt.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to join in with the recognition of our dear colleague, Councilwoman Selly, who truly was a role model for so many of us in going the extra mile and in all of the contributions that she made to our wonderful city. May God bless her, and may she rest in peace.
Thank you, Councilwoman Vogt. Councilwoman Wittes.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to say, as we all know, Mary Jane was a truly remarkable woman. She loved and served our country and loved and served our community of Long Branch for over 30 years. I have always had a great deal of respect, admiration, and love for her, and she will truly be missed. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wittes. Mayor Pallone?
Thanks, Council President. I just want to add a few words about my dear friend, Dr. Mary Jane Selly. Dr. Selly was the longest sitting council member in the history of our city, and Mary Jane always put the interest of Long Branch first. She wanted to make a difference, and she did. She embraced the diversity of our community and was always an advocate for everyone. She was fair, loyal, honest, funny, and would always tell you the way it is. She was a mentor to me, as members of council, to all of the members of council. She was a true patriot, a great mom, and we all will miss her. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good night.